Hey, Catalyst Women. I am so excited to kick off a new type of video series. So, the team and I have been talking for a while, but we wanted to just create this virtual atmosphere basically of like girlfriends getting together, just real women, real conversations, doing real life together, just talking about everything. And I could not think of a better person and a better topic that I wanted to introduce first than my beautiful friend Renee, who's joining us, and this topic of freedom. And so Renee and I actually met in January, so it wasn't that long ago in Washington. So we're now far away, but I get to see her again in a few months. An exciting update to come soon. But we met a few months ago, and she was teaching this course called Freedom, and she's going to walk us through that. But through these several weeks of walking through the course and some of the things that she's going to share with us tonight, and then in the weeks to come, yeah, God just transformed my life, and He revealed some things to me that I thought I had dealt with in my past, and just as I was walking through just various seasons of life, but unbeknownst to me, I still was like carrying shame and lies and all these things that were limiting me. And so, anyway, the transformation was incredible, and it has absolutely awakened something inside of me. So, Renee, I am so excited that you are here. I'm so excited to get to introduce the world to my beautiful friend and just to hear, I mean, about freedom, about, I know you're going to share with us tonight about the term original design. I'm excited to hear that and the scriptures and just to begin this beautiful dialogue with you. So Renee is an amazing wife, mom. She works for the Bethel School District, and she's a grandmother, which she told me that's her what favorite rotating term right now.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Thank you for having me, Danielle. I'm just so excited to be here, and I just love the Catalyst Women and all that you guys are doing. It's just a blessing and an honor to be here. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so excited you're here. You're a huge part of this. So, can you just give everybody just an intro of what freedom is?
Yes, I'd be happy to. So, through my church in Tacoma, um, we do have actually more of a street ministry type church. It's a great little ministry. We do food bank and we do freedom. And the freedom has literally changed my life. I grew up in a church and loved Jesus and had a lot of hurt and shame, and not necessarily from the church. I'm not saying that. I'm just life, life's coming after you. And it was just hard to really be free to be who God made me to be. And so this course has really changed my life. Kind of a little overview, I think, so that everybody knows what it is. It's a 7-week course. It's called Living Free. And so each week we come in and do different things. We work through different strongholds. The outline, I guess, of it is that God created you with an original design. There's a plan and a purpose for your life. He doesn't make mistakes, right?
Amen.
Yep. And in Psalm 139, it says how he knit you together in your mother's womb. And he's Jeremiah 29:11, great plans and great purposes for our lives. So we have God's original design, and we also have the enemy who comes and who opposes that original design, because John 10:10 says the thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but that Christ came so that you could have the fullness of life to the full in abundance. So with that, I always like to say, God created you, he knit you together in your mother's womb, and has a great plan and purpose. But then you're born, right? And then you have your own poor choices, you have other people's poor choices, and you do have an enemy that wants to kill, steal, and destroy. So we end up building up believing lies realistically, and taking that bait and allowing those hurt and those injustices and offenses in our life to take root.
Yeah.
And we believe it, and then we function out of that. And so then we're walking in strongholds such as fear, rebellion, shame, anger, you know,
Rejection.
rejection. Oh man. I never forget rebellion, because that was, if you're good at something, that's me. Oh, I have so many stories. We'll just wait for later on those. But anyway, just, some of those things affect us more than others, but that's because they have access to us and they have a root and a place um, in us. So in the course, we're going to learn who we are. We're going to get our original design. And then we're going to learn tools how to tear those down, and how to get further from the lies. Really, what freedom is to get further from those lies and closer to the truth, because
Yeah.
the truth is that who you are and who God made you to be individually. No, there aren't two of the same thumbprints.
Yeah.
So, you are your own real plan and purpose, and we're going to unpack who that is realistically. And then when you get further from those lies, they don't have that control over you.
Yeah.
They don't authority in your life. You learn where your authority is, and then you're free to love people without wondering, like being fearful of what's going to happen, or because the opposite of fear is faith, and you're going to trust the Lord, because even if it doesn't turn out how you thought or what you wanted it to happen, you
Yeah.
know how faith builds that, and you can just be
Yeah.
okay. And so you don't have to walk in that fear,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But just kind of an overview, I guess, just to live that best life, who you were created to be, and to be able to love, and to be able to
Yeah.
affect the kingdom, because I know we all want to make a difference. We want to leave a mark. We want to have a legacy. We want to meet somebody in the grocery store. I know that there's a hunger and a thirst in you, girlfriend, and all the Catalyst women, to be the light where in the dark world, to go out and be different, and
Yeah.
to have that freedom. But I think we get frustrated because we're stuck. But freedom is going to help us not be stuck and have that boldness and confidence. Again, further from the lies and closer to the truth.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So as you're saying all this and talking, I got this picture in my head, and I'm going with a little bit of Wonder Woman here, but like just roll with me, okay? So like I just have, yeah, I have this like picture in my head of saying all this of like Wonder Woman standing in the midst of the battle as everything's flying around her. And symbolically, we can say that those are offenses maybe from dad, things from guys with relationships that maybe weren't our husbands, maybe friends who, had left for a season of life and we were hurt by them. Maybe somebody said something and we received that, but I feel like once we get that original design, instead of those offenses all landing with us and us absorbing them with no shield or protection, but they're now flying past us because we're standing victoriously, because we say, no, I am a joyful person. No, I am called to lead others and to bring truth to others. And this doesn't have to land with you. Like, this is the Lord's, and you just know that this is my identity and this is actually who God called me to be. So if God is allowing this to happen, and just he's gonna give his great mercy to help me lead and respond through this well. But it just gives me, like, all I'm just seeing is this woman standing with this like great posture, right? Because she knows first the stance that she's coming with. That, no, I know what the war is, and I know, yes, the attacks are going to come, but because I know who I am and who I was called to be before sin ever entered into me, that this is not going to land with me.
Right.
Like,
Absolutely.
you
That's
have
such a
different.
great picture. Yeah. The Lord speaking to you, girlfriend. It's true. Yeah.
Well,
And he's going to put all things together for good
he
for
does.
those called and love him. So yeah.
He
It's
does.
so it's such a great process to go through, just to find out, like you said, just who you are, and have the ability to fight off the lies and
Yeah.
walk in the truth. You're going to be, I know, but the ladies are going to be really blessed and surprised to just spend some time uh, getting tools, like I said, to tear down those strongholds and to walk out of a prayer and not even recognize yourself, because
Yeah.
you're not carrying that burden and
Yeah.
that baggage, with you out of it.
Amen. Yeah. Okay, so what Renee is alluding to, we're like, you guys watching this video are the first to hear, but we are actually doing our first ever Catalyst Women retreat. It's called Draw Near Living Free, and it is a presence-driven weekend. And Renee and a team of women are coming to Nashville, Tennessee, September 13th through the 15th. Flights have been booked. And so they're coming to Nashville, and we're actually going to do a whole weekend around freedom and just invite the presence of the Lord in. And Renee and her team are going to actually be praying and just asking the Holy Spirit to give each individual woman their original design. And so what's really beautiful is as they're praying for so basically you sit with 3 other women and they're praying for you and just asking the Holy Spirit, when you created Renee, when you created Morgan, when you created Danielle, when you created Casey, when you created these women, God, what did you see for them? Like, why was it so pivotal that you had to make Carly? Like, why? And then they write that down on paper and they actually give it to you. And so that way you have this piece, so that way when the attacks are coming, you can refer back to, this is just something that the Lord gave these women to speak over me as my anthem, my banner, to say, no, like, I am a worshiper, like, I have been called to this. Or so anyway, we're going to be doing that, and so you can actually go ahead and purchase tickets. The event's going to go live for purchase at the end of June. So I am so excited, but it's Nashville, Tennessee, September 13th through the 15th, and we're actually going to be staying at a beautiful leadership lodge place. And so there aren't a lot of spots, and that was super intentional, because this original design and every single woman breaking through these barriers, these limitations, getting their original design, and then walking out in a newfound freedom than what they came in with, like on a whole different level with the Lord, is of the utmost importance. And so we have limited spots, but it's going to be an incredible weekend. And that's what I was saying. Renee and I are going to get to see each other again. And now that like tickets have been bought, I'm going to start like a countdown on my phone. Like, I'm prepared for this.
It's going to be awesome. And when you were talking about that prayer time and you were describing it, I just want to reiterate how it is so awesome to sit with women that you've never met, that you don't know. And it's not that my team and myself are different than anyone else. It's that we are his sheep, and his sheep hear his voice, and he wants to, we know the good shepherd, and he wants to love you. He wants to speak truth. He wants you free from bondage. And so when you are in there and it's somebody that you've never even met before, and they tell you who you are, and some of those things you're going to go, wow, that is me. And some of those things you're going to go, oh, I don't really feel like that, but that's what I desire. Well, that's because he sees you, he knows you, he made you, he is talking to you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to stir your spirit, and it's going to bring life, and it's going to catapult you forward. Just that intimate touch from the Lord. I can sit here and promise that will happen. It's going to rock your world and change your life, and it's not scary, and it's not just, like I said, special people. We all can do that. So we're going to practice hearing from the Lord too, because that is a tool that we all need. Because I know that you are all leaders. You all have a life that matters, and you're significant, and the Lord made you on purpose, and he wants to speak to you, and he wants you to have freedom. He wants you to walk in who he made you to be, more than you do, more than we know. So anyway, I have these little prayer times that I've had over the years, and have little, notes that people have written that the Lord has said, this is Renee, and this is who she is. And it blesses me. I have them all at the end of the weekend. We're going to have an I am statement. We're going to come up with an I am statement, and it's going to say, this is who I am. I am actually, I started to say mine, but I have every single time I've sat down with people, I always get the same thing, and it always has joy in it, which blesses my heart. So I always say, I am joyful. And, sometimes I don't feel joyful. Sometimes I feel very opposite of joyful, but I know God made me to have joy. He made me to be joyful. So on those hard days, I have that original design. So you're going to love it. It's going to be a treasure. So I can't wait to go to Nashville. I've never been there. And it's on my bucket list of places I want to go. So look at the Lord. He's just blessing me. I can't wait to come and meet everybody, and you to meet my team, and to come and get to see some Nashville and some Jesus freedom.
Oh, man.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. Like I said, as soon as we started talking about that, we wanted to have real women, real conversations, and just create this space to, like, let's do life together. Let's talk about some of this stuff, like some of the hard stuff too, and some of the yucky stuff that, like, you're not going to see on a social media highlight reel. Like, my fear was rejection. That was like my biggest limiting thing. And fear is another thing that I struggled with. And man, the worksheets that y'all have are so incredible, because it actually gives you even check boxes that you're like, oh, I don't struggle with control. I don't struggle with passivity. I don't struggle with, and then when you start doing this, you're like, oh, well, this happens. And yes, I feel this. And yes. And then you're like, oh, I've checked every box for control. I have an issue, a real issue.
Right. Well, that's why the worksheets are so good, because they help reveal those blind spots. Because we
Yes.
don't think about, we don't know what we don't know. We're deceived when we think, oh, I'm fine, I'm good. And I think that's part of our protection too.
Oh,
to
for
be
sure.
through. And yeah. And I want to say something. I keep thinking it. The Lord is not going to tell everybody all your sin, and he's not going to put out there and make, it's never going to be condemnation, because condemnation is not from the Lord. We know who that's from. But conviction and encouragement and building to the next step is definitely the Lord. And that's what I can promise for sure.
Yeah, he's a good, faithful Father, and he gives good gifts. And that's what I just feel like, that this is like an encounter that he is just going to remind you of. These were the gifts that I gave you. This is what I want to see in you. And this is a community of women that's going to help you break through to rediscover those. And if you're willing, that are going to help bring along blind spots. Say, hey, I just feel like the Lord's wanting me to share this with you. And you guys have just done such an amazing job to just foster that. Because, I mean, we had 30 women in our group in January that went through it. And we were all sprawled out all over our living room. And but there were still just such private moments. So somebody would pull somebody else aside and be like, hey, I've been praying for you, and I just feel like this in my spirit. Every single week there was just new breakthrough, new revelation, new levels of freedom that people were just walking out with, and then watching it be activated through the week of like, oh my gosh, I want to do this with my kids, and I realized that was a fear, that was the stronghold of fear that I have been operating under. No, that's not who I'm called to be. Super pivotal things, and you think it's like a small thing, but they just change the trajectory of everything.
Right.
So anyway, original design. Next week we are going to talk about strongholds more in depth. So I'm super excited about that. I know we alluded to that a little bit, but I just thank you, Renee, for just being on here, for introducing the topic of freedom, original design, and for sharing your heart for women, and for just, man, your hunger, your passion, your fire for women to know that they were made with a plan, a purpose for greatness. It just obviously speaks to my heart. I'm like, yes, let's change the world. Let's
freedom.
Suit up for battle. I know, right? We need a big banner, we're coming for freedom. We're taking people back. This is not who you're called to be.
Yeah, taking back our ground.
Yes.
excited.
Yes, me too, friend. All right, well, thank you. And that background that she's sitting in front of is her backyard. That is the beauty of the PNW, Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Washington, people. So I'm sitting in Tucson inside, and it's pitch black outside. Or else I would show you a cool cactus in the background. But those beautiful trees, I just missed that.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. Well, we will see you next week as we dive into strongholds. And if you have questions, please post them below. I'll be sure to share the email. So if you want to start even the dialogue now, man, we love that. There's nothing greater that we enjoy than praying with people than just talking and, again, doing life with other women who desire to do life differently, walking with Christ Jesus, and finding freedom. So have a great rest of your evening, your day, whenever you watch this, and we will see you next week for Strongholds. All right. Bye.
Bye.